Good morning, students. Today we shall learn from Beehive, Chapter 9, The Bond of Love by Kenneth Anderson. Let's learn something about the author. Kenneth Anderson was born on 8th March 1910. He was an Indian born British writer and hunter. He wrote books about his adventures in the jungles of South India. Anderson went to Bishop Cotton's boys' school and studied at St. Joseph's College, Bangalore. He was employed by the British Aircraft Factory in Bangalore in the rank of factory manager for planning. His love for the inhabitants of the Indian jungle led him to big game hunting and to writing real life adventurous stories. He often went into the jungle alone and unarmed. Unarmed means without any protection. For what purpose? To meditate and enjoy the beauty of untouched nature. As a hunter, he tracked down man eating tigers and leopards. Anderson's style of writing is descriptive. He will describe very minutely as he talks about his adventure with wild animals. While most stories are about hunting tigers and leopards, particularly man eaters, he includes chapters on his first hand encounters with elephants, bison, and bears. Bison means it's a wild ox found only in America. He gives insight into the people of the Indian jungles of his time. His books delve into the habits of the jungle tribes, their survival skills, and their day to day lives. In this story, the bond of love is a love and friendship between an animal and a human being. It is true that love has no proper language. Everybody can understand it and love others. Even animals and birds understand the language of love. If we love them, they will love us in return. Therefore, love is always mutual. We know you might have many of you will have the pet animals and you know how friendly they are. They can understand the human language, what we speak. And they can sense very well because they have the sense power is much more stronger than the human beings. And so they can sense who loves them and who hates them, who does not like in the house. Okay, the pet animals. They are the most faithful animals. But to have friendship with wild animals is very, very rare, especially the dangerous animals, and man eaters. Let us see in this chapter. Kenneth Anderson is speaking about bond of love between human being and an wild animals. Open your book to page number 113. Before you read, can there be love and friendship between human beings and wild animals? Yes, we can see in this lesson, and of course, you might have seen in the movies and those geography channel. You will see that how with the wild animals and human beings, how well they are behaving, how they are relating each other. Let's read a fascinating account of an orphaned sloth bear. Fascinating means something very interesting account of an orphaned sloth bear. Orphaned means without parents, without anyone. Sloth bear. What is sloth bear? You have here in the picture. This is sloth bear with the furs hanging. Okay, that's called sloth bear. That was rescued by the author. Rescued means which was saved by the author. Second point: sloth bears inhabit forested areas. Inhabit means they stay. The sloth bears usually they are found in the forested areas, including the tropical rainforests of India and grasslands at lower elevations. So where they are found mainly the tropical rainforests, northeastern states in India, okay, as well as the lower elevations. The sloth bears have very shaggy hair. You see, this is called shaggy hair, no hanging, okay, and long muzzles. Muzzles is you see here, this area is called muscles, okay? The nose, mouth is very long. You can see in this picture. It's called muscles. Using their claws to dig, they can then use their lips to form a tube which can go deep into the ground or into hard to reach areas like dead trees for their food. Their main food is termites. You can hear them suck up their food from several feet away. So, this muzzle is used for what? For even digging and collecting their food. And their main food is, what is it? Termites. Termites are type of insects which are found from the under the earth or in the dry wood, and this is their main food, and they are found mostly in the thick forest. Let us begin with the first paragraph. I will begin with Bruno, my wife's pet sloth bear. I got him for her by accident. Bruno is a name given to this bear. Okay. So Bruno, he is starting the story with Bruno. Who was this Bruno? His wife's pet sloth bear. And he has given her a gift, and that was by accident. He had no intention of catching or captivating this bear. How it happened? 2 years ago, we were passing through the sugarcane fields near Mysore. People were driving away the wild pigs from the fields by shooting at them. Some were shot and some escaped. We thought that everything was over when suddenly a black sloth bear came out panting in the hot sun. See, as we heard in the introduction, that he loved adventures in the jungles of South India. One of the adventurous journey, probably with his friend, he was passing through the sugarcane fields, and these sloth bears also are fond of sugarcane in the forest. Okay, and in Mysore, the story of Mysore, and people were chasing the wild pigs naturally, because they will destroy, these wild pigs would destroy the sugarcane, and so people were chasing by shooting at them, and some were shot and some escaped. Some would go away, some will be shot dead, and author and his friends, they thought that all was over. But then suddenly they see that black sloth bear came out panting in the hot sun. Panting means, what is the meaning of panting? Very tired, you breathe very fast. Okay, that's called panting. You gasp for the breathless become. So he was frightened, and so he came out. Probably the sloth bear also had come to eat this sugarcane, and when everything was over, the firing was over, it came out panting, fear, trembling in the hot sun. Second paragraph. Now I will not shoot a sloth bear wantonly, but unfortunately for the poor beast, one of my companions did not feel that way about it and promptly shot the bear on the spot. You see, for author, he didn't want to shoot the sloth bear wantonly. Wantonly means without any reason, carelessly. He didn't want to shoot this bear carelessly, okay? But then, unfortunately, the poor beast, one of his companions, did not feel that way. He did not feel any pity for this sloth bear, and very promptly, very quickly, he shot the bear on the spot. Okay? Now, third paragraph, you see. As we watched the fallen animal, we were surprised to see that the black fur on its back moved and left the prostrate body. Prostrate means lying on the ground facing downwards, prostrating, completely lie down. Okay, when they were watched the fallen animal, because it was shot, surprised to see that the black fur on its back moved, okay, and left the prostrate body. That means something moved, something extra was there, not the only one, this big bear. With this big bear, what was this black, something black fur on its back moved? It's telling, because on this bear, it was a mother bear, there was a baby bear was on the top of this sloth bear. Remember that. It was not alone. And you see, then we saw it was a baby bear that had fallen riding on its mother's back when the sudden shot had killed her. The little creature ran around its prostrate parent, making a pitiful noise. What a pitiful sight to see. You see, the mother bear was shot dead, but then, luckily or unluckily, the baby bear was escaped. Did you understand? When it fell down, the mother bear was fallen dead. But the baby bear, which was riding on its mother's back, on the top of mother's back, when the sudden shot had killed her, that little creature, it was very small, ran around the prostrate parent. The prostrate we saw already, we know, lying down there, going on moving around this dead mother, making pitiful noise, making noise because mother is dead there. Okay. Fourth, I ran up to it to attempt a capture. Capture means to catch. It scooted into the sugarcane field. Scooted means ran away. Even if it was very small, it ran away. You cannot catch. After all, they are wild animals, you see. So he wanted to catch this animal, but it scooted into the sugarcane field. Scooted means to run away. Following it with my companions, I was at last able to grab it by the scruff of its neck while it snapped and tried to scratch me with its long hooked claws. You see, even if it is small creature, it started running towards the sugarcane field. But then with the companions, with other friends, he was at last able to grab it. Grab means to catch it forcefully by scruff. Scruff is a back of its neck from behind. Okay, from behind he caught its neck while it snapped and tried to scratch me. Snapped means suddenly, it snapped. Suddenly it turned and tried to escape and scratch with its long hooked claws. They have very long claws because they need to dig and to get their termites. So their claws. So it tried to escape from author's hand as well. But then what happened? You see, fifth paragraph. We put it in one of the guinea bags we had brought, and when I got back to Bangalore, I duly presented it to my wife. She was delighted. She at once put a colored ribbon around its neck, and after discovering the cub was a boy, she christened it Bruno. You see what happened there? They had the guinea bags. Guinea bags are those rough jute bags, okay? And they had brought, and they kept this baby bear inside this guinea bag. And when they went back to Bangalore, where they have captured this bear, it was in sugarcane field in Mysore. Remember, Bangalore and Mysore, they are not very far, but quite distance is there. So when he went back home, she presented to his wife, and wife's reaction was, he was delighted, very happy. She was so happy, and at once she put the color ribbon around its neck. And after discovering the cub was a boy, she christened it Bruno. Christened meaning giving name. She gave the name Bruno. She called it name. Christening means naming, okay, giving name. Sixth paragraph. Bruno soon took to drinking milk from a bottle. It was but a step further, and within a very few days, he started eating and drinking everything else. You see? Now, that Bruno has to be taken care. No mother. Very small cub it was. And so, like a human being, like a small baby, what the wife did? Milk from a bottle, like small kids they drink. And then the few days he started eating and drinking everything else. Whatever you gave, he ate. And everything is the right word, for he ate porridge made from any ingredients. Porridge, the soft food or liquid food. Everything he ate. Vegetables, fruits, nuts, meat, especially pork, curry, rice, regardless of condiments. Condiments means the spices, and chilies, bread, eggs, chocolates, sweets, pudding, ice cream, etc., etc., etc. In short, everything. Okay, nothing that he did not eat. Anything you give, it was eating. As for drink, he was drinking, you see, milk, tea, coffee, lime juice, aerated water, buttermilk, beer, alcoholic liquor, and in fact anything liquid. It all went down with relish. Aerated water means it's a carbonated water, okay? And everything went down with relish means with great satisfaction. He was relishing. Just it went down with relish. He enjoyed eating, drinking, no fuss, anything and everything. In short, he was eating, but then with great delight, great joy. 7th paragraph. The bear became very attached to our two Alsatian dogs and to all the children of the tenants living in our bungalow. He was left quite free in his younger days and spent his time in playing, running into the kitchen, and going to sleep in our beds. You see the bear, the Bruno, what happened? Very much attached to the dogs. Can you imagine bear and dogs getting attached? Alsatian dogs, these Alsatian dogs would grow very huge. And to all the children of the tenants, in the bungalow, all those children were staying. He was very friendly when he was small, of course. He was quite free in his younger days. When he was small, he was very free. No, they did not tie. And he was playing, running into the kitchen, going to sleep in our beds, like another family member. Okay, he was also treated like one family member. 8th paragraph. One day, an accident befell him. Befell him means occurred to him or it happened. Befell. Okay. I put down poison, barium carbonate, to kill the rats and mice that had got into my library. Bruno entered the library as he often did, and he ate some of the poison. Paralysis set in to the extent that he could not stand on his feet, but he dragged himself on his stumps to my wife, who called me. I guessed what had happened. Off I rushed in the car to the vet's residence. A case of poisoning, tame bear, barium carbonate. What to do? You see, one accident happened to him. Author had put down the poison to kill the rats and mice in the library. But Bruno entered everywhere because he was so free. And so Bruno entered the library because he would enter the library because author would be there most of the time. And so what he did, he ate some of the poison, accidentally, of course, without knowing. And what happened to him? He did not die, but then paralysis set into the extent that he could not stand on his feet. Paralysis means, no hands or legs will move. Paralysis attack, you might have heard, usually those who have high BP, sometimes they could get into paralysis attack if they don't take care, they will be remaining on the bed for years also. Can't move, that's all. Part of the body will be completely dead. So same thing happened. He could not move, could not stand on his feet. But what he did, he dragged himself on his thumbs, on his leg, not dragging, he went to his wife. And then wife called him, and the author knew immediately what had happened. And so immediately he put the dog in the, not dog, it is a Bruno. Bruno is a sloth bear, into the vet's residence. What is vet's residence? Vets is the short form of veterinarian. Okay, veteran we call, the doctor, animals doctor. Okay, so he went to the doctor's residence who treats the dog. Then in the short form it is vet. Okay, a case of poisoning, he told him it's a case of poisoning, tame bear, barium carbonate. Now what to do? He has eaten the barium carbonate. Now what we have to do? Read up to this 8th paragraph. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you, students.